Hey there, just wanted to, I was just thinking some thoughts and wanted to share with you something that I realized that's common in our industry right now. There's a lot of, I think, people in the digital marketing industry that are really focused on the technical side of things, which we're a very heavy technical SEO focused company. But what I hate is when I see that these technical SEOs or technical paid or technical web development or design are missing the bigger picture. What I mean by that is it doesn't matter how good your SEO is. It doesn't matter how good your paid campaign is. It doesn't matter how good your website is if you not don't actually understand your customer, right? So many of us make the mistake of only falling in love with our product or service and not truly falling in love with our customer and knowing them better than anyone else, right? And I think when you do, when you love your customer and you truly care about them, you're going to learn and you're going to know more about them and you're going to be able to deliver at a higher level. And I think that that's so critical, and so many people, unfortunately, in our industry miss this, and it's critical. It's 80% of what you're doing, because like I said, you can be hitting the target every time, but if it's the wrong target, it's not going to do you any good. So I'm just going to share you a couple quick tips that I think will help you get in the mind of your customer more effectively. There's a number of different things that we recommend doing, from just sitting down, right? Kind of the analog style. Sitting down and having some conversations with customers is just so important. I mean, you can just sit there and have a conversation. You definitely want to have some key questions outlined that you want to get the answers to. You want to be strategic about it. And we just recommend saying, hey, like, you're a great customer. You're one of our favorite customers. We want to have more just like you. And so what we'd like to do is sit down, we'll buy you lunch, give you $100 gift card or whatever, whatever you can do for them. And say, I just want to ask you a few questions, if that'd be all right. Most people are going to say sure, and sit down and just ask them, and do that with three or four of your customers to kind of get the real feeling of it. But then also do a little larger survey if you can. A lot of this depends on your customer base, of course, but do a little larger survey and ask some of those questions to your customers. And we've done studies on studies on studies, and we know what our customers, we know what their concerns are. We know what their top issues are. We know what their problems are. And so when we come and we communicate with them, we are speaking in their language, saying, that's a problem for me. Yes, we know, that some of your marketing is working, you don't know which part of it's working, and you need to be able to measure that effectively, right? That's a critical component. A lot of our customers don't necessarily understand a lot of what we do, right? And so they need to be educated and really understand what we're doing on a day-to-day basis and understand the value. And so we've created tons of resources to educate them, as well as our processes that really help kind of continue educating our clients over time. So what I want to say is, if you're in business and you haven't really taken some time to get to know your customer effectively, it will be one of the best possible investments you can make, is just spend some time focusing on understanding your customer better. Because once you do, then your messaging, your website, the keywords that you're targeting, everything can actually be on point with what you're doing there, and actually resonate with your customer. So here's just an acronym I like to use. And this is a super short video today, but I wanted to give this to you because it's something really easy to remember. You kind of see Elmer Fudd over here in the corner. So he's an easy way for you to remember the acronym FUD. And FUD stands for fears, uncertainties, desires, and decision making. So what we're looking at when we look at a customer, or we're building out a persona, or we're just kind of trying to get into the mind of the customer, is, what are their fears? It's going to vary greatly depending on the type of business you're in, right? If you have a retail coffee shop or something like that, it could be that the customer is fearful of trying a brand new coffee, and if they don't like it, they're not one of those people that like to come back and say, hey, like, Can I have you remake this? So how can you be so clear to them that's like, just big sign or big clear, messaging to them that says, hey, if for any reason at all, you're not wowed by your coffee and you don't love it, let us get it right for you. We want to take care of you. We want to make you a customer for life. Now, on the opposite spectrum of things, if your business is, something much higher on the fear scale. So say you have, you're working with, cancer patients or people that are near the end of their life, and you have, you have caretakers and things like that maybe they're looking to go into hospice, right? Like this happened with my mother when she went into hospice. The fears are very, very different, right? So you really want to understand that. What are their big concerns? There's a lot of, our minds naturally go wild on fears, and they're not always, they don't always make sense logically, right? There's just our reptilian brain saying, oh, there's a fear here. And I saw a story about this once, and I saw a time where, this person was taking advantage of this, sick or elderly person, or they were stealing from them, or whatever it is. And so you need to understand those fears and then address them in both the content that you create in your conversations up front before they even ask you, right? If you can actually do that, if you can overcome and address a lot of your customers' objections and concerns prior to them even bringing them up, they're going to feel a little bit of rapport with you, because they're going to say, wow, they're, have these concerns. They already know these concerns. They're addressing these. They obviously care. Right? And then what are their uncertainties? And uncertainties, this is an interesting thing. I think a lot of businesses get brand blindness. So we just think everybody knows the acronyms that we know, and they know all about our business. And so we start to skip over all these things that we just think, everyone knows this. No, everyone doesn't know that. And that happens in our industry a lot because there is so much to know. So it's one of those things that we really try to educate. Our whole process is less a sales process when we're working with a new customer, and even when we bring on a customer, a lot of it is an education process, because our goal is not to bring on a customer. Our goal is to bring on a customer who's going to bring on customers for us. Okay, it's a slight different goal, but it makes a huge difference when you think about it that way. We don't just take on any customer. We're only looking for customers we can have a major impact for, right? Because then they're going to sing our praises. So what uncertainties might they have? Are they, everything down from, is this, so if I'm going in and I'm thinking about buying a vacation rental, gosh, there's so many different things. I don't know how it works. I don't know how the taxes work in that area. Can I actually use the house? Or, what are the benefits? Do people ruin, vacation rentals? Do they, what is the property management? I mean, there's so many questions, right? What these are they are opportunities. They're huge opportunities for you to not only, because if people have these questions, they have these uncertainties, that means that a lot of people are also looking for those online. Right? So when they're searching for these, if you're answering those questions effectively, then you're able to garner and gather a lot more of that search traffic, and you're also providing a ton of value. At the end of the day, that's really what it's about, right? You're providing a ton of value for your customer, and you're addressing a lot of these. So this is really what you want to find out, and you can get this from customers that come in from day to day and just ask questions, keep a list of all the different questions they ask. And over time, if there's ones that are really popular, then put those to the top of the list. Create some great content for it to see if your site is currently addressing that question. If it's not, let's make sure we address it, right? And then what are their desires? And when I say the desires, I mean, think about from a psychological perspective, like what are their desires? Do they, say you're selling a vacation type package where you're like selling river cruises, or you're selling a trip to the Bahamas or something like that, right? There's a whole different set of desires that could be, everything from, variety and adventure to relaxation, and so when you understand these psychological triggers for people, you can communicate effectively with them, right? We all have, internally, we all want to feel important. We all have this need for significance. And so how does your solution or your product or service fulfill that psychological need for them to feel significant, for them to feel important? How does it fulfill their need for love and connection? These are things that are just built into us. Everyone, all of us. It's not people who don't have them. Everybody has these needs for love and connection, right? And so then you also want to think about decision making. We all make decisions a little differently, but you'll see that there's a lot of people that, you'll think, well, all my customers, they're all CPAs, they're all very logical. Majority of their decisions are still based on emotion. Okay? So the reason I say that is because, yes, they use facts to support the emotion. They're looking for enough facts to say that I feel emotionally good because they value facts, they value information, they value good data. But now they're looking for that enough of that to feel confident that they can make that decision. And so all decisions are made from more of an emotional standpoint. It's just a matter of what do you value in making that decision, right? Some decisions are going to be made based off of a rapport, right? Because they value, there's a trust, obviously, is critical. Love, connection is critical. Do they value certainty? Do they want to make sure that this company I'm working with is a reputable company? Which, I think most people are going to look for a certain amount of that. So do you have confidence factors on your website? Do you have client testimonials? Do you have maybe places that you've been published or logos of industry type factors on there? Do you have case studies? Do you have examples of where if you're in the, say, investment property business, where you've taken other people, you've helped them get an investment property and helped them, profit off of that? Or if you're in a personal training business, example stories before and after, right? So those are, having that kind of information is critical from a decision-making standpoint. So again, didn't want to make a long video. I probably went a little longer than I expected to, because I'm passionate about this side, especially the psychology side as well as the technical side. So, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're always looking to help business owners and CEOs, marketing managers who are looking to take their business to the next level. So with that, I'm going to bid you adieu. Have a great day. Bye.